Since 1991, there has been multiple Terminator games throughout the franchise, with a few standalone stories and crossover games, with most of these Terminator game stories and plots was more focused on the future aspects of the game that leads up to the events called Judgment Day. But when Terminator 2 Judgment Day, the movie, was released in 1991, it became a blockbuster hit, which at the time, video games that were based on this movie was a hit and miss from fans and critics who loved this franchise. And at the time, the only game that came close to this movie was the 1993 side-scrolling game that came out for the Super NES and was developed by the development team called LJN in the early 90s. But this game had negative and poor reviews from critics for clunky controls and was criticized for the level of difficulties it had throughout the game. But finally, after so many years later, we finally get a spot-on adaptation of the film, and Terminator 2D No Fate hits it right on the nail with the iconic scene straight from the movie, as you play as three iconic characters throughout the game, allowing players to control characters like Sarah Connor, John Connor, and the T-800. But each of every level in Terminator 2D No Fate lives up to the expectations of your childhood, with the visuals of a retro 2D pixel art and music sound design. It's pretty much spot on with the movie. And the gameplay has a few elements and variety that focuses on run and gun style mechanics that takes a lot of retro inspiration from games like Contra and many more, with the added stealth and beat 'em up mechanics that adds a vehicle and on-rail sections in the game that really captures the nostalgic energy of the movie and the source material. But Terminator 2D No Fate has additional arcade style modes that you can unlock throughout the game, like Boss Rush and Infinite Mode, where you can face waves and waves of enemies and obstacles to gain high scores throughout the game. And with the added bonus mode called Mother of the Future, where in this mode is for players who like to speed run as you race against time to complete your next objective. But on the other hand, Terminator 2D No Fate follows the story narrative, but it does give you a variety of new missions and gameplay options throughout the game, where you can change the story's timeline and scenarios that include a what-if scenario and moments throughout the game. With 15 levels and challenges with the 4 level of difficulty settings, you can try for a better challenge. But in conclusion, there is no fate within the future for the development team called Bitmap Bureau can create for the future. And who knows, maybe they'll work on a future or a later installment that are based off the 80s and 90s action films, like a Aliens 2D, or a Rambo 2D, or make one of the all-time favorite action movies of the 80s, like Predator 2D. But I want to thank you guys for watching this video. Please like and share and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace out.